welcome everyone to another Chicago Bears fan show. I'm James, coming to you this week after the Bears signed brand new head coach, Marc Trestman. He's the new coach of the Chicago Bears, and it was after an exhaustive search by GM Phil Emery that he arrived at the decision to employ Marc Trestman, who is coming to the Bears from the CFL, Montreal Alouettes, where he's served as head coach there for I believe 5 years now. So it's an interesting choice because it wasn't a conventional choice. It certainly wasn't the easy choice. It would have been much easier to go with one of the hot names out there from the college ranks or from the coordinator ranks. And Emery did not want to take that route. He wants to go with the route he believes is best for his team for the long run. You got to give him a lot of credit just for that. Now let's dive into Trestman a bit more and see what some of his positives are coming in to this team, as well as possibly some negatives out there. First off, he has made his hay as an offensive mentor. And I think he's going to serve that role very critically with the Bears, and that's somebody that Emery wanted to have come to the Bears, an offensive mentor. And Jay Cutler obviously will be a focus of that. He's talked about already how he's going to be spending a lot of time with Jay, mentoring him. But also the offensive line. He's spent time improving offensive lines at different places where he's gone and has a lot of history doing that. He's going to mentor those players. He's also going to mentor even wide receivers. And we've heard players who he's coached before, including Chris Carter, talk about how valuable he was to help understand professional offenses and how to interpret what the quarterback is looking for downfield. So he obviously has an ability to mentor players on the offensive side of the ball at different positions, and that's going to be incredibly valuable for the Bears, something they've been lacking for the last few years. He also is a critical offensive strategist and has proven his ability to operate in a few different schemes and capabilities over the course of his career as an offensive strategist, as an offensive coordinator, and coach in general. And he comes from West Coast offense roots, which is a very good core system to build upon, I think. But he obviously has seen and recognizes the evolution of the game so far. Has been at college level working there, and then the Canadian game. So he has a lot of perspectives of how offensive plans can work and develop. And I think he's well suited to be a very good offensive strategist for this team. He is what Phil Emery called a leader of men. And that's very important in today's NFL, to be able to inspire others, professionals who are getting paid to be there, very high salaries, but may lack motivation on a day-to-day basis or, with other issues flying around them. He has the ability, I think, Marc Trestman, to lead professional players to new heights. And I think we've seen him do that at a number of stages, and he's certainly got a lot of praise from different players for the ability to do that. I know Rich Gannon speaks incredibly highly of him and his ability to be a leader, and I think obviously Phil Emery was impressed by that as well. That's a core quality that he possesses, is his flexibility as a coach. He's already talked about that. It's as a coach and as a person. I mean, when you see a guy who obviously has been in a number of different systems and teams, and he understands different ways to win ball games and to be productive as an offense. He's been able to mold his strategies and his styles to suit those systems that are going to take to win. So, be it a Raiders team that put up some historically high stats, I think for Rich Gannon, he led him to MVPs, to the San Francisco 49ers team before that, who definitely put up records offensively as an offense overall, and to CFL game where you had a quarterback throwing for over 5,000 yards. Yes, that's a different game, but he really elevated the game there. And he obviously did it in different circumstances, different times, different player skill sets. So he's proven the ability to be flexible and do those kinds of things. And I think, he obviously has a willingness to take risk as well, where he sees an opportunity or importance to do so. You got a guy who's gone for his own career to college ranks and to Canada. And obviously, it's a guy who's willing to take personal risk and do things that it takes to advance. And he also, I should say, has a quality that he's written about specifically. The title of his book is called Perseverance. He definitely embodies perseverance himself in how how desperately he wants to be a good head coach, how he wants to exceed at the highest levels, and how he's gone through a number of impediments, hurdles to get there. He kind of fell off the radar for a while, wasn't really considered even an option in the NFL. But to be able to continue to strive and learn and improve himself, and that's exactly what he took the time to do, has really allowed him to get to this stage, and we've got to admire a guy for that. And perseverance is something that in an NFL season, over the course of a season, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have times when your team's going through rough patches, good times, but the ability to persevere and do the things it takes, good and bad, is critical. And that's the last, part that I want to mention about this list of positives, and that's one of his personal mottos that he tries to instill in all the players and coaches he works with, and that's win the day. Win the day to him means putting your personal best out there to succeed in what you're doing this very moment, in the next hour, throughout this day. It's really trying to define a short-term set of goals that you can impact as an individual, put out of your mind what you can't control, and concentrate on doing the best that you can and winning whatever that activity, that objective is. And it's going to be very important for improving players' skill sets in training camp, improving the entire offense, and then winning games on Sundays when it comes down to it. Not looking ahead of yourself, not thinking about what next season's going to hold, not thinking about your contract, all those kinds of things. So if you can get players in that mindset, I think it's going to be very positive. From a negative standpoint, obviously, one of the biggest things brought up is that he has not had a head coaching job at this level, the NFL level, before. And similarly, he hasn't even coached in the NFL for a number of years. It's a negative in the sense that the game has evolved some since he would have coached in the NFL last. And the players and how much money they're making and possibly some of the attitude and what they're dealing with today may have evolved as well. And it's possible that there could be some nuances that he's not familiar with. I'm not incredibly worried about it myself. I think he's shown enough ability to be flexible and understand things. And he stayed in touch. He's obviously been coaching this whole time. So I'm not particularly concerned about it. But it could be an interesting issue early in the season or where there's some rust. Who knows? Another thing we've got to keep in mind here is he's not had the level of scrutiny that's going to come with this job before. He's not been the man at a level in the NFL of a team that's got so much of a following, so much of a passionate following from both the fans and the media. So that's going to be new. How he handles that's going to be interesting. I think he's very measured and very intelligent, and also I just don't think it's going to be a problem. In fact, I think it could be a strength for him. I'm not too worried about that side either. Finally, he's not, I guess, what some people would call an in-your-face type of coach, which some people believe is important to be able to at least have at sometimes in this game. And I don't think that's his style. And, for the people that worry about that, they think that it's going to be a problem for him getting the respect that he needs from players. I don't think it's going to be the case, but it may require early in the season that he has one of those prove-it moments where he may have to discipline a player or do something or take an action that shows that he's in charge, shows that he's a no-nonsense type of individual, and that he is going to hold up his word and hold players and coaches accountable for their actions. So I think that it may come to that, and there could be an important turning point we should all watch for in training camp or early in the season if he's challenged with his authority. All right, in my next video, I'm going to talk about what I think will work for Marc Trestman as he comes specifically to coach the Chicago Bears, and how I think he can improve the team. I'm very high on this choice of him as a coach, and I'm going to tell you why I think that's the case. Bear down.